Today on the channel, we've got Constructicon 2 of 6, which is kind of weird because the other one says 1 of 5. We're looking at Transformers Studio Series 86. Transformers the movie, Constructicon Bonecrusher. On the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Where I got it figured, back with another Transformers Studio Series review. This time we're looking at Bonecrusher from Transformers the movie. Will hilariously right off break. You see a difference with his box than Scrapper's box, because Scrapper's box has 1 of 5, but Bonecrusher's has 2 of 6, which is kind of strange. But here's your 1 of 5 on the Scrapper box, where it clearly says 2 of 6 on Bonecrusher. And in the last video, I certainly was like, I don't know if I should say 1 of 5 or 2 of 6. And Hasbro has definitely made it difficult for me to do that. You know, we're going to continue with the difficulty. There's going to be 5 reviews, even though 6 Constructicons will be reviewed. So I guess I'm going to stick with the 1 of 5. We'll see. Further boxes may confuse the issue further. But all that aside, we've got Bonecrusher, and he is a deluxe figure. Probably because he doesn't come with any extra stuff. But, you know, we're going to check him out as always. He's in the new Hasbro Universal packaging in a sense. So he's got the window box again and everything like that. Nice artwork of Bonecrusher on the front in both modes. Continues with some Autobot City stuff on the side. Devastator on the other side. And then you got your package art with Bonecrusher converting in 16 steps on the back. Not really a whole bunch to the packaging, but you know, it's much more, it's just better designed, but there's not a lot there. They're conveying the information to you a lot more efficiently, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But we're not gonna stay on this box too long. We're gonna get Bonecrusher out. Check him out. All right, so we've got Bonecrusher out of the package, and he is looking like Bonecrusher. Figure's always been kind of a brick, all the way going back to G1. This one is, I'll probably say, about as well proportioned as the Combiner Wars one. But that one had like leg extenders. I don't think this one has leg extenders. But he's still, you know, probably going to be a better figure overall. We'll see. He definitely has some, you know, weirdness to him. He's definitely, you know, he's a deluxe for sure. So if Scrapper was a small Voyager, then he is definitely probably along the lines of a large deluxe. I expect these guys to be all around the same size. So there's that. In terms of his articulation as an action figure, you know, he's got the arms, and they're doing the painted on arms again, but they did that with the last version as well. He has an ab crunch, which I'm sure is partially due to him being an arm of Devastator. And they, instead of having him with that 2-part crotch piece that just never worked right, it's just one piece now. And he still bends at the knees, but they don't extend, you know, they're just knees. But that's probably overall better. And you can make them look up and down. You have that. Still has ankle tilt, which definitely aids in standing them in dynamic poses. So he comes with 2 accessories. One of them is classic laser pistol. Of course, I'm used to it being a green that matches the rest of the plastic, but black is okay. It's no big deal. It does have the clip for blast effects. So good there. And then he comes with this nebulous block looking thing, but those of us, we're all smart enough to know this is a part of his Devastator arm combination. Probably going to slide into the arm piece, and then most likely you attach the fist section to this. You don't know how yet, but I'm thinking that's what this is going to be. Otherwise, it's just a brick. So gearing Bonecrusher up real quick with his little gun. To complete the look. So what we'll do next is get him transformed into bulldozer mode. Check that out. So we've got Bonecrusher in bulldozer mode, and he looks cool enough. One thing that you should definitely be aware of, well, I guess there's something to be aware of. One is he has no wheels. I don't really care about wheels, but I know that a lot of people do. But whatever. You're just going to slide him around in stop motion. It's going to still look like he's rolling, whether he's rolling or not. But that is something. Combiner Wars version did have at least like some wheels. It had like, I think, 2 wheels. But you have that. Now, one thing you got to do when you put him together from the package, the little block that we talked about earlier, you got to put it on in the right direction. If you put it on backwards, it's almost impossible to get off. I had to heat it in some boiling water to get it off. Yeah, I put it on backwards. But I got it off and reversed it. So you don't have to go through that whole deal. I thought I would just go ahead and tell you. You can just attach his laser pistol to the bulldozer, and there you go. It's not much to go over there. Like I said, he doesn't have wheels. He doesn't roll. But once again, he's a more improved version of the Combiner Wars figure. And of course, as I did with Scrapper, here's the Gen Bio version of Bonecrusher. And while there are differences, it still takes a lot of the cues from that figure. So, primarily we're talking about how the legs fold backwards, but not like they come apart on the small one. But on this one, they don't. They just kind of fold backwards. And then the way the arms transform is the same. The other stuff is like kind of enhanced stuff. So there you go. And once again, this version is more accurate to the cartoon source material. There you go. There's your look at Bonecrusher in vehicle mode. We're going to get him transformed back into robot mode. All right, for comparisons, we're going to start off with Bonecrusher and Gen Bio Bonecrusher. Bonecrusher, the newer, of course, is much larger. Bonecrusher, the older, is of course a lot floppier and just small, but he would be in equal measure large if it was the Combiner Wars version. So on the old version, of course, they put his painted details on the bottom of the bulldozer, whereas they're on the top, and it's more accurate for them to be on the top. It's accurate for them to be on the top, not more accurate. That's where they go. As far as the cartoon goes, and he does have a little bit of paint apps on his arms that this Bonecrusher lacks, but this Bonecrusher should lack those paint apps because this is accurate to how he looked on the cartoon and in the movie. Now, if they ever do like a Devastator gift set like they did with the Stunticons, then I probably expect him to have a lot more of the paint apps of this version, which is a lot reflective of the toy, but it's technically accurate how he is in Studio Series. So there's that. Here's Bonecrusher with Studio Series 86 Voyager class scrapper. And as I said, they're like the same height. All the Constructicons are pretty much the same height. Probably long haul is gonna, by necessity, be larger, just like he was in Combiner Wars. I actually expect the biggest deviation though from him, but we don't have him in hand yet to see for sure. But we're getting there. Here's Bonecrusher with Studio Series 86 Starscream. Here is Bonecrusher with Legacy 5-pack Jazz. Just so you get to see him with a regular sized Autobot. He's still larger than them, but he's obviously not massive. At subscriber request, we have him with Transformers Legacy Velocitron 5000 Road Hauler. Road Hauler is retroactively considered to have been one of the Constructicons who defected to the Autobots. I guess they couldn't turn into Devastator at the time or whatever. I don't know. But he does look pretty good with them, even if the green doesn't 100% match. Also, I guess he can stand in for Grapple. There he is with Grapple. There they are with Grapple. Last but not least, we have them with Voyager class Earthrise Megatron. Now we can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Transformers the movie Bonecrusher. It's still a superior figure to the Combiner Wars version. I definitely think that, he's not the world's best figure, but again, like with Scrapper, a lot of the changes are sort of understated changes that makes it a much better overall package. And I'm going to say that he sticks with that. I'm not going to mark him as high, I think, as Scrapper. I'm going to give him an 8. There's a lot more value still of just playing around with Bonecrusher than there was previously, where he's basically just an appendage for Devastator. The whole thing was Devastator, but I think now you're going to get better Constructicons as well as a better Devastator. Like, all of it sort of matters. It's back to 85 in a sense. Now, I get that in 85, Devastator's legs couldn't move and everything, but I'm just saying, as a kid, you had equal value of playing with the Constructicons as well as Devastator. And of course, the figure had problems, that we can go into. But you didn't always feel the need to have him as Devastator, whereas the Combiner Wars figure, I just kept it as Devastator. That's what I got it for. And there was little value in keeping them not as Devastator. So yeah, final word on that's going to be an 8. And eagerly look forward to getting the rest of the Constructicons. I believe the next up is the Hook and Long Haul Commander class pack. So hopefully tariffs and everything aren't going to delay us too long on getting that stuff. But for now, Bonecrusher is more than sufficient. I would say 7 is probably sufficient. He's more than sufficient, but he's not, he's not a 9 or a 10. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Got a lot more Transformers content coming. I'm always going to have a lot more Transformers content coming. I always consider this to be a Transformers first channel. But we got the other stuff as well. So stay tuned. So next time, everybody stay safe. Happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.